Hi everyone, welcome to All Four Queens. Now I have got somebody in my phone, so there's a bit of a delay. I wanted to do this a couple of days ago, but I sort of sat back on it for a bit because obviously, we've got all this crazy stuff about mental health and and obviously we are on a spiritual channel. And unfortunately, whilst not everybody sees what goes on in the spiritual world, we know people do things not just of the light, but also of the dark. And so I posted a couple of things today. I managed to get on and post them. And I hope everyone's doing really well. And I hope you all had a great Christmas and everything. So a little bit of my saga. I was hoping 2026 would be a lot different. But obviously I'm still stuck in a little bit of this spiritual warfare storm, one for a better word. And it is what it is, isn't it? So my car, I managed to get off the car park in 2024. I had to buy a new battery, even though it was a brand new car. And then I managed to get off the car park. And as soon as I got on the motorway, it started bunny hopping. But I also knew that someone had done the same, put the same equipment in it that was in the previous one, because obviously I couldn't pick it up the same day that I bought it. So I knew that they'd messed with it, obviously. And then obviously I was trying to drive it and someone else was doing something, and they were trying to put me into a barrier. And so it was so surreal. I've never ever experienced anything like it. And so I was on a motorway, and imagine there's 3 lanes on a motorway, and then there was a slip road coming off. And basically, I just basically held my breath, and I just was like, you gotta help me. And the car just shut down. Just shut down in the middle of the motorway. So then I had to phone the police, who came, and he couldn't start it and he moved it to the side. And then another lady came, another police officer, and then I had to phone the RAC to come and get the car. And then he brought me to a service station, which is here, and I've been here ever since October. So I've obviously had to keep booking. I was hoping that they'd pay for the hotel, because obviously the car was supposed to have a 200-point check on it before I took it, and presumably somebody has messed with it. I mean, we all know that there's affiliations out there, and unfortunately, I do believe that I'm being hunted down, for want of a better word, by a lot of societies, maybe. And I think that's where the bit of the jealousy and everything else comes from, because I think what's happened is it's been a personal agenda. Someone's got a personal agenda against me and has used they abused their position of power, whether that be in their day job or their hobby, for want of a better word. So that's where we're at the minute. So obviously I'm still here. I walk in the room, and obviously they've done the room lovely for me. It's got loads of things in it, so obviously I have to clean it myself and do the ritual that I do, i.e. my prayers, and then hopefully that I call in the divine light and any darkness is out. Now, what I will say, there was this desperation to get me into hotels, and what I was doing, I was staying in the car quite a bit, because I knew that to go to the hotel, someone kept following me and doing lots of baneful magic. Now, obviously, a lot of people don't believe in magic, but it's happening, because you just know. As you ascend, you just know. And I know a lot of people say it can't touch you, and no, it doesn't. But if they want you to feel it for a reason, then you're going to feel it. And I've felt it quite a bit. And obviously, there's things that's happened in the spiritual realm, which I'll do a separate one on. But I just wanted to talk about this one, because what someone's been trying to do is bind to me. And obviously, because God, the divine, my ancestors pulled me away when everyone left me on my own and went off and did whatever they did, I was pulled away. Now, the reason why I was pulled away is, one, you've got to be careful what you've got, because you don't know what you've got until it's gone. We don't come with a badge saying, I am your spiritual protection, I am your good karma. That's what we are. And the test for everybody is how you're going to treat that person. So when you get pulled away, you get pulled away for a reason. Now, I got pulled away, and then I thought, well, okay, I'll just go off and rebuild like I did before. The difference being this time is no one has ever come for me so hard, taken my home, taken my stability, blocked me from everything possible, draining my money, because they're stealing my money out of my bank account, which I've got to get a forensic investigation on. But I already know that they're doing it anyway, because of the nefarious things they've said about me. Someone was adding numbers to my credit card to make my credit card look more than it was. Then they were blocking it. So I couldn't book, so I'd have to stay in the car. So they did give me a gratuitous payment back, but obviously I need to still do some investigation with it. So there's been loads of stuff going on, and obviously with my bank account, I had the money from my house. Now, obviously, I've seen that there are some transactions that I haven't done, but what they do is they'll put stuff in that you haven't done, but obviously they've got affiliated people everywhere, haven't they? So, you know, but I know that my account has been watched because of the things they've been saying about me. So I'm grateful for that. And I am so grateful to my ancestors and to God Almighty and to Jesus and to the archangels for everything they've been doing for me. I would have preferred not to have been here because obviously the energy is quite dense and they come and then they do loads of stuff and it's constant dark negative energy all the time. I'd rather be around a lot of people more light and obviously who fill my cup like I'd fill theirs. So, and it's difficult as well to walk around because one of the things I've noticed, and this is just for reference for everybody, they bring the dogs and then they throw out loads more dark energy. So it's like, you know, even when you go out, sometimes, I mean, I think one of the readers said it previously when she went for a walk, some of the trees, I don't have any life in them. Do you know what I mean? So it's like trying to get grounded a little bit. You have to do a lot of visualization and just, you know, keep yourself a little bit high anyway. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, I want to just recap on everything because basically, you know, we get all these downloads and obviously things that happen to us and why do they happen to us. A lot of stuff happened to me all my life, and I've said that before. And obviously, I've had a lot of car accidents as well 2005, 2011, 2018, and then they tried to do the 2024, 25. So I think there's something around a car accident that obviously they shut the car down because they could see. I mean, I wasn't even steering it, someone was trying to run it into a barrier. I mean, that equipment must be really expensive. So whoever it is has got a lot of power and got a lot of clout. So obviously the car went in, and if they're all involved in it, they're not going to say anything, are they? So I just, you know, it's in your Akashic records. That's all I'm going to say, and you just rely on the spiritual realm because obviously the physical realm is part of the problem, isn't it? I guess not everybody. I know there are some amazing people out there that are keeping us all safe, and I do say thank you to those people. So I just wanted to touch base around the targeted individual, really. And there's obviously I've got something. I said there's an entity that they've tried to attach, and there is something trying to pull on my chakra, really. But I'll go a bit into that in a minute because I was sleeping and then something happened to me, and then I said, oh my gosh, I think someone was crossing over or was in transition, and I said, oh, I felt something, and then my phone beeped as though they'd confirmed something. So I don't know if someone's actually gone into transition or is actually in transition, or if it's an earthbound spirit that doesn't actually know it's past. I did try and get some cleansing to sort of help it cross over a little bit, or it could be something a bit more, you know, a bit more malicious. I don't know, because I know they are doing a lot of rituals and stuff, a lot of baneful rituals as well around me. Because obviously I'm a seer, aren't I? I see what's going on. So and we're highly intuitive. I'm not stupid. So yeah, so I don't know whether it's someone that's actually crossed over or someone that's in transition and is trying to hold on to my energy source. But obviously it is a bit of a challenge to try and not have their thoughts and try and break, you know, split between mine and theirs. And obviously I've asked for the divine to help me transition them over. And I think going back to one of the readings that Mystic Tori did years ago, and she said double mission. I don't know if that's my double mission, so I'll just shout out to her. And then there's another one that I want to shout out, Mystic Beauty. She helped me understand something the other day, and she said, because you've seen that I've posted a few things about, you know, my home, and they came from my home, blah blah blah, and they're coming for your stability and come for your 12 houses, and they want to make you look like something so that they can keep you down, so that they can try and take who you are and what you are, and the Starmer book and all that sort of stuff, and all your creativity and everything, and then they try and put entities on you to try and get you to be what you want you to be or whatever. But obviously I've got the divine with me, and I'm grateful for that. So she said something about it's the season of Job, and I'm grateful that she said it because it sort of makes sense as to why we go through these things as we do. So I say thank you to her. Then I also want to say thank you to Mrs. Torrey again, because I was watching one of hers and I was directed to it, and she was talking around generational curse breakers. Now you've got to remember, being a generational curse breaker, not everybody wants you to break the curses. Some of the dark lineage don't want you to break the curse, and some of them can be alive today. So, and some of them can be quite dark in terms of they dabble in the dark arts. So, hence what's probably going on with me at the minute. She said in one of her readings that they petitioned some of the dark entities to attack me. Now, what's happening with me is I am getting a little bit of that, and whatever is inside me is actually attacking me. But obviously, I'm praying and I'm hoping that they're keeping me protected from the inside out as well, not just from the outside, but the inside as well. So, and I did try and get some cleansing, but that got blocked because someone was messing with my phone. So hopefully, I can help, try and get the vibration up, get out of this area, and then hopefully I can get my vibration up and I can sort it out that way. I've moved away from certain things that I eat, so I can hopefully get a little bit in that way, and I'll just go on a fast or something if I have to. But in terms of the car, so the car got shut down. I'd only had it on the 17th of October. 26th of October, I got stranded at another service station. I finally got off there on the 10th of November. Then it went to put. They can't fix it, so I'm stuck. I've been stuck here for quite some time, trying to get a replacement, and they're not as forthcoming as one would like. But I think the whole purpose is entrapment in it, is to keep me here and try and do whatever they're trying to do. So if I can get out of here, I will as quick as I can. But I wanted to talk about premeditated sabotage, because obviously when I've looked at my life and all the things that have gone on, and I'm not the only one, there's quite some interesting things that you see, the car accidents for one, and the pattern of the car accidents. I've got an orb there. Pattern with the car accidents. They attack your 12 houses. They've been attacking my crown and my heart chakra, but there is a church that said they will attack that anyway, hence why I always wear my hat and stuff. I've been caged. Now, this is the interesting thing. I've been caged for so long, all my life really, isolated, left out in the cold, blocked from my life, blocked from my abundance, kept low so that everyone else can have it, and basically abused, abused by the karma and everything else. But they take your wealth and they take your abundance, don't they? And it's psychological abuse as well, because they play the push-pull game all the time, and they phone your work and they'll tell things, say things to work. So the amount of redundancies and NDAs I've had to sign is unreal, and it just didn't seem a normal pattern. It's just too many. They try to block your connection, obviously. They try and do binding rituals, because obviously that's what they've been trying to do to me. They'll use illegal and unethical programs, which I believe has been some of the things they've done to me when they came into my home, and the energy weapons and all that sort of stuff. And then when I went out to the hospital, they tried to make out that I was doolally, because that was what they wanted to get on paper, and it wasn't true, because they have been using those. And in here, they do like sound frequency things as well. So, and obviously they're always listening to what I'm saying before I post. But I asked the ancestors to make sure that I can post, because obviously it's my story, isn't it? And medical experiment. Now, remember I said they were zapping me all constantly with the phone. I'd love to show you my stomach, because I've got loads of little brown marks on my stomach all the time, where it looks like a little burning thing. I don't know what it was. But obviously with the voodoo rituals as well, it's like trying to make me ill. I get the impression it's trying to make me ill. Now, I'm assuming that that's probably because someone wants to cash out on me or whatever, I don't know. But it seems very odd, and hence why entrapping me here. But what they didn't realise was they think it's an entrapment, but God always turns it to good, doesn't he? So he's turned it to spiritual protection, really, because obviously, and I needed to stop and ground. So just so I could get more prayer and stuff in. So the MK Ultra, the human and medical experiment, and the trafficking of birth charts and us, the way they do it, stealing my DNA, And I call it feeding the 5,000 because obviously when I was caged and I was feeding the whole organisation of some society or whatever, as soon as they pulled me away, then they realised that I was the energy source to that. So whoever came for me and did it so hard, whereas before they've done it, but they've done it and I've stayed in my home and I've stayed in my job. So I was burning the karma and then taking other people's health issues, and that I was doing it that way. And that's, I mean, obviously I didn't know, but that's what I understand from the downloads I've had, is that's how they did it. Whereas this time someone just came and tried to take everything, and including me and the divine masculines as well. So it just went really hard. So it's a bit of an imprisonment and entrapment, isn't it? They came for the house, they came for the car, they came for my stability, because obviously they're trying to block me from working and getting opportunities, because when I put my CV out, I don't really get anything. They steal your energy, obviously, and they hold you against your free will. So, and they try and force a position by using malicious ways of doing it. And obviously they scam and they take, fraud and identity as well. So they block your life basically, and they try and control it. I mean, obviously they're still trying to do it with with my YouTube channel now, because it's not actually on the planet, the YouTube platform. I don't actually know where it is. They're trying to ruin your reputation and your character, but I actually find that quite interesting, because they want to ruin your reputation and your character, but they want to be you. So I don't really get their philosophy in that. They'll take away your freedom, so obviously, and your networks. So obviously, they've done what they've said to people, but all did people take money? Presumably, some of them did. And then obviously, they'll do obviously the D magic and use the voodoo and do all the rituals and all the baneful stuff and everything else. And it's to try and create an illness and a disease. And obviously, they're trying to create this mental issue or whatever it is. But what I'm going to say about that is, when I was in the car park, because I always ask for protection anyway, when I was in the car park, I watched this guy who got out of his car, walked to the bin, put something in the bin, and then walked back to a car that wasn't his car, and he was trying to open it. And I just laughed, because I thought, well, there goes the confusion magic, doesn't it? It's just all going back. Everything's going back, and people are losing stuff and their foundations and everything else, and people are still attacking me because of that, and I understand partly, but I don't understand why anyone would attack somebody who's already been abused because someone took something that wasn't theirs from their lineage, and then people want to attack me for the fact that they're losing. But we all have a choice. And the thing is, we don't have a choice of the consequences. And if they chose to ride with somebody on a lie, well, that's on them. It's not on the person that was originally abused. So I don't really get the whole thought process there. I don't really understand it. And I mean, obviously, I hope everyone does well. But someone came from my home, someone came from my car. People were quite willing to walk past me and see me lying in my car and stuff. So I don't know what people expect, really. Karma is karma. You reap what you sow. And so for me, do unto others as you want done to you, and then we can't go wrong. None of us can we? As long as we keep in kindness, you're creating dharma. But when you do things negatively, you're creating karma, and including whatever someone sent to me in terms of the binding rituals that they've tried to do, and then blocking me from getting cleansing to cleanse it out. That just shows you how insidious these people are and the behaviour that they operate in. So I just wanted to sort of go through that a little bit, because obviously, but I do also say that, nothing happens without reason, and I don't mean that in a conceited way. All these things are sent to, one, push us forward, growth, strength, resilience, and faith. Job was like Mystic Beauty said, Job didn't go through it, but he still didn't lose his faith, and I haven't. It's just that I would have preferred not to be blocked from so many things, including, my life, my stability. They actually do want you to have nothing, and these are people in positions of power, but they're not more powerful than God. And and they're not more powerful than my ancestors. And on that closing note, I just want to say that I woke up one night and sorry, I got a message. I woke up one night and I was in the spiritual realm, and there was a court case, and there was two people standing up front, and because they've woken up so many of the ancestors, and one of my ancestors was an ancient ancestor, and it looked very much like, you know, those Chinese people that stand in that row. I can't remember what they're called. And then there was a bit of like an Egyptian type to it as well, and there was just all mixes of, and I was like half asleep anyway. Anyway, this really big man stood up, and he got this like gown on, and he got this like old scroll, and he unrolled the scroll, and he just went, "You have no case." And on the scroll was everything that they've ever done to me my whole life. And the two people were standing there, and then he turned to the judge and he went, "They have no case." And it was just like, and then I was like, wow. And so I wanted to do a separate one on it because I just couldn't believe it. But the scroll was huge. I mean, obviously there were things that they've probably done to me that I still don't remember, but the scroll was huge, and it was just like roll after roll after roll of everything that ever happened to me. And I'm assuming that that's the same for everybody else out there as well. So my point there is, keep the faith. They do work for us. Keep praying. The only thing I haven't been able to do, because I'm in a hotel, and in my home I would have done a little bit more, is put things out for them, and, you know, my flowers and stuff. But no, I hope that I get out of here soon, and I can move forward. I have got something in mind that I do want to dedicate to them when I get out of here, and hopefully I can get some cleansing and get this out of me as well. And whatever, if it's an earthbound spirit, then hopefully it can cross over, as Mystic Tyree said, double mission. I can get it out, and it can cross over, and it can be safe and go and rest in peace or whatever. Because the phone did ding when I said, "Oh God, there's something passed over," or whatever. So it was a bit confirmation really, but you know, we all pray and we hope that, you know, they get over on the safe side. And I always say that as much as the vessel goes, the spirit doesn't. And I know that my granddad is so much more powerful in the spiritual realm, and he's with me all the time. So as much as his life wasn't that great, and they did a lot of horrible things to him, he's so much more powerful in the spiritual realm. His energy is so much more powerful. So I say thank you to him as well. And I say thank you to everyone. And I send lots of blessings and prosperity for 2026. And I hope that everyone's doing well and we can keep up with what we're doing. The only thing I don't have is some Epsom salts. I'm having to have normal salt, but I've eaten some of it, and then I'll put some of it in my bath and stuff, and just have to improvise a little bit, and hope for the best. But take care, and I'll see you all soon. See you on the next one. Bye.